Hey, what's up, everyone? Dragging back again with another special Halloween edition commentary for none other than Halloween. Now, when you see the Compass International Pictures logo appear on your screen, that is your cue to start listening to us. So we're going to kick things off in 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to a special Halloween edition commentary of the Halloween.
The Halloween.
The Halloween.
I'm ready.
The Halloweeniest of all the Halloweens. Yes.
That derpy pumpkin.
Hey, but see, I've always found that pumpkin kind of creepy because okay, there are jack-o'-lanterns that are creepy and there are jack-o'-lanterns that are cool. Like the cool jack-o'-lanterns,
And then there's cute.
Yeah, are the ones like the big sharp teeth and the really angled eyes. Yeah, they look cool and bad, but they're not really scary. The jack-o'-lanterns are just kind of like the wide eyes, and I think the scariest ones are the ones even without teeth. They just have the basic smile and the wide eyes. To me, those are the scariest jack-o'-lanterns because they're so simplistic, and yet there's something inherently terrifying about them. So this one's kind of halfway there.
All I know is I'm very disappointed in whoever made it, because, like, what kind of amateur are you? You, like, cut between the mouth and the nose when you clearly don't have to if you're skilled.
Well, listen, this movie did not have a big budget, so they couldn't afford the best jack-o'-lantern carvers. We clearly see where the budget was snipped. Clearly, that's not the only thing that was sliced in the movie.
Oh.
The jack-o'-lantern kid's got the cut. Maybe it's a jack-o'-lantern with a horrible disability, and you're just a really hateful person.
What, like a cleft lip or whatever?
It could be a cleft jack. For all of you out there who have a cleft, please note that in this era of sensitivity, we are not making fun of you. We were talking about an inanimate
that's pumpkin representation,
vegetable that grows out of the ground. No, pumpkin's a fruit, right, technically?
I don't know. It's delicious, and I consume it. That's all I know.
So Halloween, folks, the story of the serial killer Michael Myers, arguably the film that started the slasher genre. I know some people might say that's Psycho that gets that credit, but I think Psycho is more of a proto-slasher film, whereas I think the genre was solidified in this film. Kind of all of the hallmarks of what makes a slasher movie what it is. You know, the final girl, the blade-wielding murderer who only walks, yet is always somehow directly behind you.
It's a power walker.
Yeah, everyone else is like fucking running like 5K marathons, but like, you know, like 100-meter dash kind of thing, and yet you look behind you and he's right fucking there, like, oh shit.
Make out time.
Yeah, so this film is written and directed by John Carpenter, this is his first film. This is a lot of people's first film, this movie, Jamie Lee Curtis included, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, the script was very rudimentary. It's basically just babysitter murders, just in a guy, essentially the boogeyman. That's really what he was meant to be, just like this, you know, ambiguous, kind of faceless killer who just killed. Hence the mask. I know in the script, Michael Myers was referred to as the Shape, to kind of dehumanize him further. He's literally just essentially. I was kind of figured Michael Myers was kind of like, I know, so right? Somewhere all the dogs have a seizure. But yeah, essentially Michael Myers, the way I've always kind of summed him up is he's essentially a great white shark in the body of a human being, where he's just this very efficient killing machine. He doesn't contemplate his place in the universe. He's not really, you know, he does what he does, and he does it well. And unless he is stopped, he will not stop. And there has been subsequent sequels and various continuities, one of which, the first continuity, had Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, end up being his sister. And then you find out that Michael Myers has something called the Curse of Thorn, which is an ancient Celtic curse which drives him to sacrifice members of his family. And then they threw that out the window with Halloween H2O and started another continuity.
So weirdly low window.
Yeah, and then they started a new continuity again with the current newest Halloween film, Halloween 2018, which ignores all the sequels and only focus on this one. And there's also the Rob Zombie films.
The world's fastest quickie.
I know.
That was like 1 minute.
He didn't even get up the stairs, man. He just like halfway up there. He just like
So by the way,
Venture
I just
down.
want to point out. Obviously, we all know this is Michael's POV. Like this is so nitpicky, but he's supposed to be 6. This POV is too high up for a 6-year-old. God.
I mean, is it though? Because
Yeah.
look where the banister is.
Yeah, but before
It's
you
like-
saw like the cabinet, how it was looking down at the cabinet to get out the knife and shit, like where the light switches are, and
Oh.
they're all weirdly low.
I mean, yeah, it's.
Listen, John Carpenter, you should
John-
have stepped it up.
Yeah, I know, John Carpenter. You've only created a horror legacy that has been emulated and copied for decades.
Listen,
Well, you really dropped the ball on this one, bud.
Yeah.
I hope to fail one day.
as good as
No. What's that? I hope to succeed one day
Yeah.
as hard as John Carpenter failed. Let's put it that way.
I know.
And the classic trope in these movies: gotta have a naked teenage girl.
And again, knowing her 6-year-old brother's around somewhere, she's gonna sit with the door open, topless.
Well, she probably didn't know he was just right there.
And the fact that she just reacts that way.
This kind of feels like okay, this isn't really her little brother. This is like, okay, some kind of weird kink with the other guy. Her
Yeah.
boyfriend, like, okay, so I'll pretend to be, and you murder
Because
me.
she wasn't, like,
It's the whole, oh no,
Yeah.
ow, oh no.
And then, like, you don't, I'm sorry, after I got stabbed once or twice, I would definitely get up and try to run and or punch, slap, hit.
That's
something.
not what happens in these movies.
I know.
That'd be too realistic. You're not
Guys.
gonna fight back. No, once you get stabbed, it's like, okay, that's the rules. Once you get stabbed, you have to continue to get stabbed. So I've always tried to study this scene right here because they don't really show Michael too much after that. And you see glimpses of his face here and there throughout the sequels, but they never really show it because they're trying to keep.
See, it's
Bas-
supposed to be like a freeze frame. That's how it feels like. Because, like, why would they just stand there like
Look,
that?
by the way, look at the mom. She's just
Yeah.
no shit's given. She's just there in the hinge
Yeah.
body. Well, unless she thinks it's like a Halloween thing where it's like a bloody knife.
Well, it is a Halloween thing.
Well, yeah, but like maybe she thinks it's not. Oh, they just gave him like a I don't
Well,
know.
that's my point. So why would they just stand there like
Hey.
freeze framing it?
It's the '60s, man. It's not like kids used to. When I was growing up, kids used to like hurt the shit out of each other. So yeah, the further back in history you go, the meaner and more dangerous kids were. So yeah, '60s they probably were stabbing each other. That's just a Wednesday night, 1963.
That was just extreme tag back then.
Yeah, Chad, you're it. Kids going home at the end of the night with knife wounds. Did you have fun playing with Jimmy? Sure did, Mom.
That
Bleeding
outfit.
from the neck. It just makes it look like she's a prostitute driving,
I was thinking that
dressed
too.
up. He's like, you ever done anything like this before? What, dress up? I mean, not as a nurse, but sure.
Well, it's not just that. It's like she's wearing that weird like capelet, which knowing it's Halloween looks like a.
But that was how they dressed back then.
I know,
mean,
but it looks like vampire capelet colors because it's black and red.
I don't know. That might have been a conscious thing on Carpenter's part. It's so funny now when you see like when you watch adult films and you see people like the sexy nurses. They never dress the way nurses dress. Have you ever seen a nurse
Yeah.
dress? It's like just these kind of gender neutral scrubs,
Yeah.
which weirdly enough kind of work for me. I'm just being real with you guys. Real talk, guys. Real talk on the Halloween commentary. Nurse scrubs, it does it for me. But
Ew.
But yeah, I like how I hear now they're describing like one of the ways they kind of really built up Michael Myers in this film and a lot of later films too. It's how he's described when he's not on screen, which is kind of which is a formula that they've done a lot of these slasher films, usually the earlier ones of the franchises, but also in a lot of creature feature films where the menace, the thing that is menacing, the characters is scarier when it's off screen because the imagination is the best special effect and will concoct something infinitely more frightening than anything you can put on screen. So I like when Michael Myers is not on screen, but he's being talked about
Yeah.
by Dr. Loomis. Like Dr. Loomis doesn't even refer to him as a man. To him, it's like he's a thing. He's a creature. Basically, Michael Myers is a creature that looks like a man, but he might as well
Incarnate.
be a werewolf. He doesn't refer to me as human. Like the fact that Loomis wants to basically just lock him away from everyone in a cage. Like it's just saying like, yeah, there's nothing to treat there. It's literally just trying to treat a savage animal, a mindless killing machine. You're not going to rehabilitate it. If you're not going to put it down, oh.
Sounds like laser guns. I'm gonna sound really old by saying laser guns.
Laser guns.
That's what it is. See, I never I don't know. It's so hokey.
Well, again, back then they just had a guy jump. But the funny thing is, you look at like the new Halloween film, and it's what makes Michael Myers work so well is his simplicity. That he literally, again, just look at him. He just breaks, grabs, takes. Like he is. My only issue there is when you see him leap on top of the car, and when you see him kind of get into the car, he looks a little too kind of frantic. Oh, I gotta go. And the fact that he speeds away.
Yeah.
I always feel like you should have just seen, instead of Michael Myers jumping
I kind of feel like he should have just reached in, grabbed her by the neck, threw her on the ground, got in, and drove off.
I literally think he should have just seen him walk by like his torso, busted the glass, grab her neck, snap it, pull her out, and just get in and drive. Like, he has no sense of urgency.
She should have been dead.
Well, yeah, again, I that was the only part about this movie where I feel like he does.
I'm like, how does he know how to drive?
Well, they'll explain that someone probably showed him, because that's the thing too. Like they kind of imply that Michael has talked, which is weird because in the new movie he hasn't spoken in 40 years. But prior to that, I guess Loomis has been treating him, so Michael probably has spoken. But we're now seeing him. That was a period of time where he was almost dormant, where if anything, some of the humanity was kind of more active in him.
Yeah.
But now that he's being triggered again, like almost going on a feeding frenzy, whatever humanity was in there is now completely shut off, and now it's just the white shark hunting. And here we have very young Jamie Lee Curtis playing Laurie Strode, arguably the first final girl, and my favorite still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she does a really good job in this film.
Yeah. No, she does. It's funny because I know I said this. I hadn't seen this until we watched it with some of our friends for the first time, like 2 weeks ago. But they're dressed very, like, what would be considered, like, adult nowadays. Like, and she's only supposed to be, like, what, 18 here?
Yeah. I mean, she was. I don't know if she's supposed to be 18 in the movie, but she was 18.
Be a teenager,
the actress was 18 in this film.
But yeah, no, like especially her, but her friends too. Like you just don't see people dressed like this. Not teenagers, that's for damn sure. The fact that there's, well, I don't know. I'm sure there's people that babysit still. I don't know anyone that babysits. I never did know anyone that even babysat. That wasn't like a sibling situation.
Well, I knew it was. I don't know if you do it as much anymore,
That's
especially nowadays that people are so paranoid. But I mean, also too, these actresses were. I think they were all kind of fresh out of like film school, film school, acting school. So they're not teenagers. They're all like in their. I think she was the youngest one. I think the other ones were at least in their early 20s. But yeah, they were definitely older playing younger. Whereas nowadays, people are cast more age appropriate. Like nowadays, people, when you see usually a teenager in something, they usually are teenagers. They might be a couple years older than they're supposed to be, but usually they're around the same age. Where when I was growing up, you had like 25-year-olds playing 60-year-olds. Yeah, I know. Or the Power Rangers when I was watching as a kid, and TV Guide did like a special issue on it when the new season was starting. They had like little bios of all the actors, and as a kid I just assumed, all older kids look the same to me. Nope, come to find out, like the youngest one was like 23.
Yeah.
All the others were like 25, 26. I was like, wait, what? And of course now looking back on that, like, yeah, you can tell. You can tell everyone shaved just before they came to set.
Yeah.
See a little bit of that
Waxed.
But see, again, it's interesting in this film that they're not. Michael Myers is. He's not hiding. The camera's hiding him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're allowing him just to kind of.
Be.
Yeah, because. Yeah, like he's basically saying, like, I've been trying to tell you guys that you guys literally had like a monster locked up, and you guys just assume. But see, as the audience, because we only see Michael with the mask, for us, it's a lot easier to kind of see him as a monster because where he's dehumanized in our eyes. Whereas
people are the real monsters.
Well, yeah, but again, for these characters, they've seen him without the mask. They've seen him looking like, where if you saw Michael Myers from afar, you just looked like a guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be until you really got up on him that you saw he might be behaving oddly, or if killed you. But from afar, he doesn't look like a monster. He doesn't have claws or teeth, so it's harder for Dr. Loomis to kind of sell this whole notion that forget what you see. This is a creature. This is almost an entity, if you will, of pure evil that is just basically wearing a man's suit. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it makes me think of like the Edgar bug from Men in Black, where he's parading around as a man, but inside he's like that 20-foot cockroach.
About that.
Well, that's my essentially.
I was a kid.
I mean, essentially, that's how you have to think of Michael Myers. He's essentially just a monster wearing a costume. So the whole thing is like Michael Myers wears a mask, but in actuality, Michael Myers has always worn a mask. The face of the man underneath is just as much of a mask as the classic white-faced one that he wears. Which, by the way, found out was actually a repurposed William Shatner mask that they basically just painted white. Because again, this movie had no budget. I think the budget was like 2 shoestrings and a ham sandwich. They had no money, so when they had to give the killer a creepy mask, the fuck do we give him? I don't know. Here's a William Shatner mask. What do we do with it? Paint it white. There you go. You know what I mean? And now it has become probably one of the most iconic images in horror. But that also became kind of a stickler for a lot of these kind of slasher films where the killers all had a thing. Michael Myers has the white mask. Freddy Krueger has the claws. Jason Voorhees has the hockey mask, for instance.
Kids are dumb.
Well, yeah.
Poor pumpkin. It was just waiting to get carved.
For all you kids out there who might be listening to this, we appreciate your view, but you're dumb.
Hey, if you're sitting here yelling boogeyman at some other kid, get a life.
Hey, I'm not judging you guys. I did this. I was dumb once, too. I was a kid once, too.
You were a bully?
I wasn't a bully. I mean, I got bullied. But, I mean, no kid ever never not bullied to some degree, but I was not a bully.
I never did.
I mean, I participated once or twice in, some maybe
okay, so it's gonna
bad
sound
behavior,
dumb,
but I never bullied people.
But did he take the time to fix the window in this car because it's not smashed anymore?
It's a different one now. This isn't the same car.
I thought this was the car.
No,
Where the fuck did he get this car?
He's ditched. Well, you'll see. Like Dr. Loomis is basically gonna be following his trail. He's ditched cars along the way.
Okay,
I think. Wait. Oh no, you're right. This is the same one.
Yeah, because he recognizes it after.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was like, what?
Yeah, I forgot. Because there's a scene coming up that. But yeah. By the way, this is supposed to be Illinois. This is so Southern California. You can see the palm trees in the background, and some of the houses are of that southwestern adobe house style.
Maybe the 60s or 70s were a different time. But
yeah, they were.
If there was a car that slowed down next to me, cruising, you bet your ass.
Yeah,
I'd be
these are the rolling hills of yeah, this is all above LA right here. So when I'm like Illinois, I'm like, this is not what Illinois looks like.
No.
But yeah, no, it was a different time. So I grew up in that period of time where it was the whole stranger danger kind of craze thing happening. Where it was I remember we weren't even broad daylight. The way our apartment complex set up, we had the interior, which had all streets and whatnot, but then there was the outside sidewalk that was by the main road, and I was not allowed to walk on the sidewalk outside because they were afraid you would get snatched up.
Yeah.
So the only time I could walk on the outside street is when my parents were with me. Otherwise, I had to stay kind of penned in, so to speak.
So did he park there just to use the payphone and then notice this? Or is it supposed to be he...
I don't know, actually. I don't know if he just noticed
that's
this.
Pretty convenient.
I don't know. I mean, Yeah.
Didn't even see the body.
Well, unless it's one of those things where it's like, does he really want to come across it? Like, he figures, like, okay, well, there's got to be a body somewhere around here, you know? He's also on a race against time, too, because it's like...
Stupid cheerleaders.
Yeah, these girls who all look 25.
Oh, I know.
But that was normal back then. You cast older kids.
Your life is so hard, teenager.
Because that's the thing. Kids back then weren't acting like this. They were in school. Nowadays, fame start. There are more child actors now, I would say, than before. Where, again, you watch like the Disney Channel or something, and you literally are watching kids grow up before your very eyes. And then it's weird when you see them like later on, like doing adult films. I remember there was one girl I saw. She did something. I'd seen her off and on, like on some kids show, and then she appeared in a movie topless, having sex. I was like, wait, she's like, and then I realized, oh my god, yeah, that show was like 8 years ago. She was on that show when she was like 13 years old, and I'm like, hey, I'm
a big girl now.
Well, that's the thing now, and a lot of girls I know would do roles like that because they would want to break that image. So it was kind of not uncommon where these child actors would suddenly appear in like a more adult role just to really be like, look at me, I'm a grown up, you know.
God, that girl's so dumb. I can't wait for her to die.
But see, that was kind of that. I know you were really frustrated with that, but like that's become a staple of the genre where it's like,
Tony's books. I always forget this book and that book.
Well, again, to me,
so cute. Look at that face.
Okay, but that's the thing. You kind of want them to die, or rather, it's fun. What the fuck did you just say?
Why did he just randomly stop like that and go?
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. But you know what I mean, though? It's one of those things where, like, the thing about horror, like I said this with the Trick or Treat commentary we did, where it's like, horror and comedy border each other very closely. There's a thin line between horror and comedy. And I know some people disagree with me on that, but I'm going to say, like, okay, for instance, this is a horror film.
Yeah.
A story about a serial killer. Horror, it's a guy in a mask, like Michael Myers, where her friends are so cartoony and so kind of dumb and, like, that you're just kind of like, yeah, get him, you know, like, you're kind of relishing the moment. It's fun. Then you watch something like Silence of the Lambs, when Wild Bill is killing people. That movie is that. Silence of the Lambs is not a horror film; it's a thriller. Mm-hmm. And the difference between a thriller and a horror film is that thrillers are real. Thrillers kind of show you what this would be like if in the real world. It's not fun. It's not cute. It's not playful. It's tragic. And a lot of times, the people who die in thrillers, you're not rooting for them to die. You're not rooting for the killer. You legitimately feel bad for the people who die in thrillers because they're just normal people. These guys, a bit more cartoonish character-like. This is a little more Scooby-Doo here, where Laurie is the super-duper goody two-shoes, then you have the other girl who's like the super-duper bad girl, and then you have the other girl who's like really snarky, and it's like, they don't really feel like... There's so many memes of this where it's like, when you call out sick and your boss comes to see if you're like bullshitting or something like that. Mm. But you see, I'm saying this is a horror movie. Michael Myers is a guy in a mask who is hiding behind a bush. A thriller would be like the guy who like takes her out on a date and they're having a good time, and then when he comes back to her place, he like roofies her drink. Yeah. And then like strangles her with like chicken wire. While fucking her basically. It's not fun. It's not cool. It's disturbing. This isn't disturbing. This is fun. It's like, a sadistic version of hide and seek, basically. It's playful. And like I said, that is the difference between horror and a thriller. One is playful, one is not. And if you think Silence of the Lambs is playful, there is something, there's a larger issue there.
Such a nice friend.
I know. By the way, fuck you too. And while you're at it, try fucking yourself.
She doesn't have to. She's gonna fuck her boyfriend while she's babysitting.
And that was the other trope too. It's like, girls, and and someone you might even want to liken this up to kind of like feminism or even sexism, where it's like, this whole idea of
He seems creepy to me too. Maybe it's just me, but. You're right too close to me to feel comfortable. Get away.
Smoke that
fucking pipe. But you think you're Sherlock Holmes. Listen. This is...
I love like you see the continuity here. It was sunny before, and now it clearly just rained. But yeah, no, that was my thing. I was saying like, you look at movies, especially from this decade, where, you have like the James Bond thing, and if a guy has sex with multiple women, he's considered a stud. You know what I mean? Whereas in these films, like, okay, a woman has sex and she's punished for it. Like, Laurie's a virgin in this movie, and she survived. That became kind of like the trope in these films, where it's like, sex is death. Like, if you have sex in a horror movie, you're fucked. You're gonna die, because that's the price you pay for being a slut. You know what I mean? You gotta die. Whereas the girl who's pure and innocent lives because she's good.
Nah, y'all need to die. Just that kind of movie.
But that became like a staple of the genre, where it was like, okay, the final girl was always the virgin, pure, like
See, but here's my thing. When we see that, obviously for us, when the camera goes on, we see he's there, cut to her, and then cut back and he's gone. Is he just like ducking and then like shuffling away?
But see, that's kind of the magic of movies. Is like, it's out of sight, out of mind. It's like, yeah, realistically,
like that's what I picture every time I see something like that. Like, what is she seeing?
Again, if Michael Myers is a ghost, you could think that he just
disappeared.
Yeah, but because he's a man, he's literally just sidestepping away. But because they don't show it, it kind of creates that sense of like, oh, even though, like, yeah, he didn't fucking disappear. He's hiding behind a bush somewhere right now. Like, you know what I mean? He's like well, that's kind of my thing, too. Like, the irony is, because he's not physically speaking, he doesn't look like a monster. When they first see him, their first thought is not like, oh, God, it's a monster, run. It's, oh, that's weird. But their first instinct isn't necessarily just to flee, because they're still seeing a man. And that's honestly what makes Michael Myers so dangerous, is that, again, he's a monster hiding inside of a man. So he can get closer to you. If she looked out that window and saw the fucking Wolfman, for instance, you know what I mean? Oh shit, monster,
Jesus,
you know what I mean?
That bed looks tiny for her. Also, I like that she's got a landline in her room.
Oh, I know, back in the day, that was like...
She's got a TV, too.
Oh, yeah. I would always get my parents like hand-me-down TVs. So for the longest time, I had like a little TV that was like the size of a basketball from like the 80s. I had the antenna, and I would have to like mess with the antenna to kind of get a clear signal.
I wasn't ever allowed to have one in my room.
It was like, it was from like mid 80s. They just gave it to me, but it was tiny. The screen was the third of the size of a laptop screen. Like,
yeah, I remember our first TV was a small black and white one. When my mom. Like when we moved into our house, that was our first TV. It was black and white.
But it's also where
tiny.
It's also where I discovered the joys of the fuzzy channels that you didn't get.
Oh yeah. No.
And I knew at the right time of night, I knew how to turn the antenna just right to get the picture at its clearest. I was like,
gross.
Oh, listen. Like, we were every like young boy, and that from that period was like a fucking like, like electronic technician, because we had all were like. Boom, boom. Like, if you were ever trying to get a good signal in your house for like, oh, the antenna's messed up, like, every boy in the house knew how to fix their parents' antenna on their TV. Like, hold up, I got this. How did you get so good? Oh, I don't know. Us kids with our Nintendos, we're good with this shit. Like, we all knew, like, okay, you got to turn the thing just way. You have to extend it not all the way up. You have to keep the top one down just right. Just get it just right. And then, boom.
Jesus.
You would get seconds of nirvana here and there.
Gross.
Moments of where I just like, wow.
See, we didn't even have like normal cable that wasn't a news channel till I was like 8. was rough.
Well, it's like places like this. I mean, a lot of times, people would watch movies. They would only see things, certain movies, like like when they would do like late night like showings and screenings on TV. That's how a lot of people saw movies in syndication. Where it's like this is kind of the start, or just before the start of home media.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I know.
I always forget way back when.
Yeah, you didn't have VHS. You couldn't rent a movie. So basically, when a movie was out of the theaters, that was it. If you didn't see it in the theater, you didn't see it unless it was re-released. That's why it was such a big deal when a film would get re-released, because there could be an entire generation who never saw it. I mean, one of the big influences for the original Godzilla was King Kong, and they didn't see that movie till it was re-released.
Yeah.
And it, for most people, that was like the first time they'd seen that movie. And I've always said too, like people wondered why now, we're getting remakes, sequels, reboots, everything, and it's all the same stuff, the same characters, the same. Why is it constantly? Why are we getting Godzilla movies, Halloween movies, Friday the 13th movies? Why are they making more Terminator movies? Why are they making more Predator movies? Why do they just keep these going? And I'm like, because these have become our new legends. These have become our new mythologies. And is it any wonder that the majority of these new legends come from an era when home media was started? Because now these films never went away. These characters never died. You could watch them at home. You could keep them going. They will never die now because of home media. So, like these franchises,
Dimension.
Like her, even though she's trying a marijuana cigarette.
Oh, Jesus.
But to still keep her innocent, like she's not like, look at this girl. She's just she's just puffing away on that shit like it ain't nobody's business. Lori two-handed it, doesn't know what she's doing.
Even though I think this is funny, because I'm like, if you see your dad, why are you gonna stop and see him? Like, just keep fucking driving. Like, clearly he's doing his job.
Unless he would just see her drive by.
I wonder why she didn't stop. Think he could shut off the alarm?
You would still smell that shit.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I call bullshit right now.
They were hotboxing it, so.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, I can always tell when my friends have been smoking weed, like, the day before. You get in their car, and it was like, God damn, guys. Like, this shit does not just clear out. It was like, quick, open a window and blow it out. Like, that shit lasts forever. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, at that point, they might as well not even just stop.
Even their clothes, it clings to you.
Well, yeah, at that point, they might as well not even throw away the joint. Because you're busted anyway, you might as well finish it.
And I'm like, dude, there he is, right there.
But see, that's my point.
Around.
Well, that's the interesting thing about the Halloween movie. There's not a lot of jump scares in this movie. There's very few of them. Also, Loomis doesn't know to look for a guy in a Halloween mask.
Well, yeah, but he recognized the car because it was his.
Yeah.
Not his, I think, the security people, whatever, but...
But that's my point, is I like how Michael Myers, in a lot of times, he's in the scenes.
Yeah.
Nowadays, most horror relies on jump scares where you don't see the thing until it literally pops out and gets you, whereas I like this movie where Michael Myers is there. He's not scary because you don't know where he is. He's scary because what he can do. Like, it doesn't matter if you see him. Michael Myers is kind of like a bear. They've always said, like, if you ever see a grizzly bear in the wild and you are close enough to tell it's a grizzly bear, you're too close. Mm-hmm. You will die because they can run like over 30 miles an hour. But that's the thing. So basically, like, if you can see the bear and you know it's a bear, you're dead. You're too close. You're too close. It's got you. Michael Myers, if you look, oh, look, there's Michael Myers in this background, you're dead. That's it. If you see him, so that's almost a joke, is like...
See, but again, just like the kid before, I'm like, you guys wouldn't notice this one fucking car following you this entire way? Like, come on!
Well, again, it's a movie.
Stop smocking. Stop smoking that
Stop smocking. That's how the kids say it nowadays to kind of hide it. What are you guys going to do up in your room? Ain't nothing, Mom. We're just going to be, smocking. Okay, well, you kids have
pitch
fun.
black now, and he's still been fucking following you like holy balls.
Well, they have been smocking all day, so they're probably there.
I'm so paranoid, even when I walk places.
Yeah, but you see, you're paranoid now because you grew up in a era that is post this kind of thing. This is, back when everyone, back more earlier decades when things were supposed to be safe, like middle America, small town America.
Don't lock your doors.
Yeah, well, I knew places, I'd heard of places where they didn't. Like when
That's psycho.
When I went from, no, this is Halloween actually. No, when did you? And just like that, they got divorced. But no, like when I moved from California to Missouri, people weren't locking their doors, and I was like, "What are you fucking nuts?" They're like, "Well, whatever. It's broad daylight. We're fine." I was like, "So what?" Like, I knew people who would get jacked and have their house broken into at like 2 PM. So, but that's the whole point. It's this mentality back then. It's like small town America, bad things don't happen here. And that's what made this movie very scary at the time. It's this idea where, like, you go to the big city.
It could happen to anyone.
Exactly.
Anybody.
Whereas before, like, this stuff happened in New York City, Los Angeles, that kind of thing. Big cities. That's where the murderers live. Small town America, people move to places like this to get away from things like that. So the fact that there was this brutal serial killer, it's almost like introducing a big apex predator in an environment that's not designed to have a predator of that caliber. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything is getting slaughtered, basically, because there's no balance. Michael Myers is... It's kind of like Jaws, where this big great white shark swam up in this little tiny coastal community, and there was no competition for it. There was no, So what he was doing, he was just picking people off. No competition. That's basically what Michael Myers is in this film. He's essentially a big great white shark in a tiny little, inlet in the ocean where there's nothing bigger than a fucking, I don't know, carp swimming around or whatever.
What? You say carp?
Carp, like the fish carp.
Why would that be in the ocean?
Carp. It's a fish.
Freshwater.
Or are they? Okay. Take a smallish fresh saltwater fish, and that's like the biggest thing you got to worry about. Whereas then you have like a 25-foot great white shark swims in. It's like it's got zero competition. Again, Michael Myers. If Michael Myers was doing this in Los Angeles, while he wouldn't be less deadly, he probably would have gone on way longer before someone would have noticed him.
Yeah.
Because, hey, someone got stabbed to death in Los Angeles. Okay. And, little middle of the country town in America, someone got stabbed. Oh, my God. He sticks out right away because that stuff, again, doesn't happen here. But
that stuff don't happen in our little town.
Well, exactly. But because now we live in a time where, things happen like this in small towns. Kids were getting snatched up, kidnapped, this and that. Now, you grew up paranoid because you live in an age after, all, that kind of scare kind of swept across America. But back then, it's like, hey, there's a car following us. It's not. It's probably just a car. Loomis is like, not today.
I think you're just a little paranoid, bud. Need to smoke a joint? Chill out a little?
And I like the way Donald Pleasant, the actor who plays Dr. Loomis here, I like the way he plays. Right here is. And it's funny, if you listen to Quint's story when he's in Jaws, when he's talking about, when the USS Indianapolis went down and he was watching, his fellow crewmen being eaten by sharks, and he describes the sharks up close, saying how they have, black eyes, like doll's eyes, like these cold, lifeless eyes. Yeah. So it's interesting that, again, and I'm wondering if this might have been a conscious decision on Carpenter's part, but to kind of have, the way he's describing Michael Myers, he really is describing a great white shark. These dark eyes, no sense of right or wrong, just basic rudimentary senses, just running on basically just pure instinct. There's no higher thought. It's literally just, just a predator in the purest sense of the word. And he's literally describing a shark, but he's describing a man. So that's what makes it scary, is that you realize that Michael Myers is essentially, like I keep saying, a great white shark in a man's body. Just this basic, basal instinct, just killing machine. It's just so funny, the level of condescension here.
I know.
And now we live in an age where superhero movies are like the gold standard.
Yeah.
See, nowadays, Laurie Strode would be like a nerd girl, and she would be reading comics, and they would be like sitting on the couch reading
and
comics.
And she would totally be like the gothy bad girl.
Yep, and the other one would be like the slutty cosplay girl, the one who's always
maybe not cosplay, but
yeah,
I feel like she'd just be like
the tall blonde one.
I know.
Yeah, she'd be the guy going, yeah, I'm just working on my Poison Ivy cosplay,
Maybe.
I'm just gonna do the body paint Poison Ivy. Bitch, the dog lives here. You get out of the kitchen.
Like, how she's deaf. Like, I'm sorry. You
Or
can hear a dog.
Or she just doesn't give a
no,
shit.
I was trying to imply the TV's that loud, but I'm like... That's so awkward. I think it's funny too. I know I said this before, but I'm like, why? Like, I know everybody apparently babysat back then and kids always went out, but I'm like, really, on Halloween when your kids are supposed to go out, like, you're gonna...
Hey, I had to study for a botany test one time on Halloween, so this is already...
Botany? What are you, fucking Hogwarts?
No. College. So sorry, I was getting a higher education, trying to better myself.
Yeah, but you weren't a small child being babysat.
Getting a degree so I could sit here and do commentaries on horror movies on YouTube. Clearly, I've made something of myself.
I'm just saying.
Thanks.
I'm talking about if you're a child, a small child, having to be.
All I know is that now I'm horribly depressed, thinking that I wasted my whole life.
Because of botany.
And a few thousands of dollars on a degree that apparently hasn't got me jack shit.
I owe 10 times the amount you
Yeah, exactly. And you're here doing fucking movie commentaries with me. Welcome to my sadness.
Fucking movie commentaries. That's our secret commentary section. Seriously, this child.
This kid's awesome. This kid's like me, just watching a cool monster movie.
Okay, and again, I'm like, what? You're just gonna fucking strip in the middle of the area, take some dirty clothes out of a hamper for someone? I don't know, man.
Listen.
I don't know.
Listen.
See, was that supposed to fall down there, or did he just tear it down?
I think he just bumped into it or whatever and knocked it down.
And she's like, I guess that's nothing. And how did the dog just get outside?
Look at dog door.
Not one that big. That's a fucking big ass doggy.
A big ass doggy.
Hey, Lester. I like how she thinks that's what. Poor puppers.
I was wondering how they got the dog to do that.
Well, they probably were just holding it and then slowly started to lower it.
It's the well-behaved dog to just do that.
Well, they do have trained dogs.
Winchester Pictures. Howard Hawks Production.
Jesus.
Yep. So, okay, kind of funny here. This is The Thing from Another World. They only get as far as the letters of The Thing. But this was the first film adaptation of the short story Who Goes There, which John Carpenter's next film would be another adaptation of The Thing from Another World, or Who Goes There, and which should be just titled The Thing, which is the iteration of the movie that is now, or the story that is most popular. But a lot of people don't realize that The Thing was essentially the second film adaptation, and a much more faithful adaptation to the short story. But he was always a big fan of that, so...
Yeah. So here's my thing. Why would you carve a fucking pumpkin on Halloween night? You're supposed to do that shit beforehand so you can actually enjoy it before you just get rid of it?
I don't know, it might be just more like for them to do something fun on Halloween night.
Yes.
Like something... I don't know, she's just trying to fucking keep these kids busy. So, I don't know, carve a jack-o'-lantern. That way they're not, making meth labs or whatever. I don't know. I've never babysat anyone.
Yeah. Me neither. Thank God for that. It's like when my freaking mom used to make us get babysat. Granted, our neighbors were cruel, so it was more like we just hung out with them. It didn't really feel like we were being babysat, so to speak, But still.
The closest I ever came to that were sometimes my parents would drop me off at a friend's house. Yeah. So it's like their parents were watching us, but really I was just kind of hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
I never had like a stranger come in and watch me.
Yeah.
Cheap trick.
It's weird that the washers would be out in a separate shed. Is that I don't know. I guess that how old houses used to be.
They might not have had the hookup in the old house.
This is strange to me too. I'm like, why does this door just get stuck?
Because it's a fucking horror movie. That's why it gets stuck.
We'll see in a minute that the fucking kid opens it, no problem. I'm like, what the fuck?
Because it's a horror movie.
Doors.
But see, again, I realize that
you're used to make somewhat.
Okay, but see, that's the thing. You're a little younger than me, so I always forget that this is part of the fun of these movies. This is one of the reasons why you watch these movies, that you're supposed to kind of yell at the screen and saying, "Oh, come on," or "Oh, really?" Like, that's a part of it. There's supposed to be like a lapse in logic, because this is a situation where this shit could only happen if people were this stupid.
Yeah.
Realistically, a lot of this wouldn't happen this way because people would not be this dumb.
The door has nothing to do with stupidity. It just apparently she doesn't know how to turn a doorknob.
Well, but that's my point. But that was kind of the fun of it. Like, this became a thing where it's like, hey, let's have a bunch of stupid kids get murdered because they're fucking
adults
stupid.
That are kids.
And that was the thing. The final girl was always the only one who was supposed to kind of use reason and common sense, who you were supposed to kind of care for. Everybody else was literally cannon fodder. Everybody else was like, you were not hoping they lived. You were just waiting to see how they fucking bought it, basically. So, yeah, they're not working to make these people likable, lovable, intelligent, relatable. They're literally here just to get butchered.
Yeah.
And your job is to wonder how and when.
Good thing this child could open this door better than she could.
Exactly.
Don't shut it, now you're both stuck in there.
But you also know, too, like the little girl is going to live. That was the thing, too, little kids. So, because this kid is smarter and more capable.
They just wanted to show her butt. Shouldn't she be wearing sexy panties if Paul's coming over?
Did they really have sexy panties back then?
I don't fucking know.
I don't think they had, negligee panties back then. I'm not sure.
I'm sure they did.
I don't think that was a thing. I think back then it was just nudity.
Lacy undies have been around forever.
I get, but I don't think they had thongs and things back then.
I'm not talking about a thong. I'm talking about lacy panties.
I think it was just like, hey, if we're gonna do this, let's just get naked. Like,
see, no problem getting out now.
Well, yeah, because she had the smart girl who's not gonna die do it. If you ever find yourself incapable of opening an unlocked door, know that you're going to die by a serial killer.
How did they know that was Paul answering or calling again?
Hi, Mark.
And she just leaves the fucking door open? Like, what the fuck? God.
You see, you're getting frustrated, but you're actually watching this movie correctly. Because this is what you're supposed to do with these movies. You're supposed to like be yelling at the screen going, come on, that's bullshit. What are you doing? You basically have to watch...
Okay, serial killers aside, you're gonna fucking let some bugs in the house, and that's what honestly makes me the most angry.
That's what I'm really having issues with here. Essentially, you have to watch slasher films the way you watch like a sporting events where you're yelling at it, you're throwing shit at the screen, you're screaming stuff like, oh, come on, what are you, an idiot? It's very similar.
It's sexy time.
See, I remember, I mean, Netflix and, streaming media is way better, but I kind of missed the old days where you would watch like cable and they would have like movie marathons and...
Yeah.
That's how I watched a lot of cool monster movies growing up. They'd be like, like late night Monster Vision and that kind of stuff. I remember Monster Vision when I was a kid, where they would show old Godzilla movies and like creature features. It was great, and there was a lot of times how you would watch these movies. Like I'd find out, oh man, on cable they're gonna be running an all day marathon of these creature movies, and I would just stay in all day and I would just watch these cool monster movies. And sometimes I would like tape them.
I like how she's just running out in that fucking oversized shirt. God.
I love the breathing too.
Needs a respirator. Should have made that... Well, I guess that would have been a copyright thing, but they should have just dressed him up as little Luke Skywalker. The thing. Yeah, I like how the kid was like, oh, what about my jack-o'-lantern? And now she's the one doing it.
Yep.
So that you can do the babysitting, I'm going to get sex and get paid.
This is probably why my parents never hired babysitters. I'm like, hold up, I get a hot high school girl that's going to be like banging upstairs? Like, hell yeah.
Ew.
Hey. Had eyes.
What?
No, I'm just saying, like, I was like,
you
like...
creepily watch them and mouth breathe?
I mean...
Don't answer that.
Hey, it's creepy for them because they're the older ones. Me, I'm just,
Hey, look, it's locked. Yeah, what the hell is she singing?
She's got the voice of an angel.
Not quite. Meow. Seriously.
See, I love how atmospheric it is. I like how, and a lot of this is just because they didn't have fucking money.
Yeah.
But I love how they're just shooting the environment. There's not a lot of added shit. It's just like, I love just walking outside. And It's like, again, it almost kind of gives you a sense of like, what it'd be like to live in an age when there were things that would predate upon you. Like if you were, traveling old and western days, right? You could go out there and get killed by a mountain lion, or back in the days when there were predators that would come out at night.
It's open now. Remember how she needed keys?
Well, it's because Michael Myers went in there.
I know. It's all foggy. That's my point. I'm like, how did he get in without keys?
Well, he's super strong, so he could probably just pry the door open.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Well, it is when you're Michael Myers. But see,
he just has like a magic
Well, no, I think he literally just reached the door and just probably broke the internal lock when he opened it. But you see, I like little things like that where, okay, they established before the door was locked, clear windows. She comes back in, the door opens, and suddenly the windows are foggy. You know what I mean? And it's like little details.
So was he supposed to just stab her?
Yeah. But things like that where it's like little details where you might not even notice it the first time around, but if the next time you go back and you know that he's going to be in there, you look at, hey, look, the window's kind of foggy. Oh, shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you have a good eye for that sort of thing, you can kind of spot it. You're like, oh. You know what I mean?
Mm. Artificial gravity off. Spoopy.
See, I would rather do what these kids are doing right now. Just sit back and watch an old sci-fi movie. Like, hell yeah. And in like 30 years, it'll be the same thing on YouTube, but they'll be commentating.
Yo, girl. You wanna...
So, you get babysit here often?
Look at this fucking kid. I'm like, how would she not have seen where he got up? Oh no, it's the boogeyman! That's what this kid sounds like to me. Maybe they're just having some erotic time, okay? Maybe it's all RP, it's fine.
What's the matter, kid? You never been babysat before?
Not by a non-virgin babysitter. That kid.
Well, if Michael Myers didn't come here and fuck shit up, he would have been the case. But you see, again, I actually think that's creepy when you just see someone, when it just happen. It's kind of like when we would go trick-or-treating, and like this, I remember one time, a lot of the houses, this is back when people actually trick-or-treated at night, by the way, folks. Not at 4 in the afternoon, but they had they'd have all the houses, the decoration light up, there'd be guys in masks on the front porch going, come get some candy, ah. And there was one house we saw, it was down the street. It was the only one with the porch light on, and it was just a porch light. There was no decorations, and we just saw the silhouette of what looked like a witch sitting in this rocking chair, kind of hunched over, unmoving, and we were all like, shit, do we go? Do we go? We kept daring each other. It was like a little cul-de-sac. We finally we were scared shitless. And it was literally just a woman just there with fake candy, but because she had no lights on, everything was dark, it just silhouetted her just right. But she looked like the scariest fucking thing on the street. It was just there, sitting there, silhouetted by a porch light. Very simple. No bells and whistles. And that was the scariest thing. So just seeing Michael Myers just there, just walk, carrying the person, is to me more scary than like a...
Fucking creep.
Please.
Smile. You little shit.
Get your ass away from there.
What you doing? Just terrorizing children. Are you talking about your daughter?
But yeah, no, so that's what I'm saying. I think it's... I like how they just... Michael Myers is scary by what he does. And how he does it without any reservation. That's why I like that. But again, I mean, this is also kind of the genesis of the genre. So it kind of evolved into more like the shock value stuff. But I don't know. Some people don't like this movie. And I understand why. It is a... If you grew up kind of post-Halloween when you have all the other franchises out, even the sequels to this film, I can see why you might find this to be, the boring one. But when this movie came out, this kind of played on a fear that was starting to develop in America. And it was the boogeyman. It's like, like, my God, small town America, where we're supposed to be safe.
Because it's totally my fault.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, so it's like, I think this film, I think it's a much smarter, it's definitely smarter than all the other slasher films, whether you like it or not, it is a smarter movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also, they made this movie not realizing it was going to kick off a whole genre. They just made a movie, there's this movie. Guy kills a bunch of babysitters on Halloween night, that's it.
Wait, is Lindsay the kid?
No!
I was really scared for a
second. It's the girl that just got killed. Oh, that's the
other girl's name?
Yeah, Lindsay.
Okay.
Jesus! I know things were different back then. They weren't that different. Like, whoa!
Jesus, he's fucking 2. Just gonna leave your van door open, it's fine. I do like that Michael took the time to shut off the porch light.
Well, see, that's my thing. The only times that Michael kind of shows any kind of awareness or intelligence is when he's trying to set people up to kill them. I'm not saying he's a predator.
But how did he know there's more people coming?
He's laying a trap. That's what I like. You know what I mean? He very much is a predator. All his thinking goes to acquiring prey. And I know sometimes people say, well, he's clearly just trying to freak them out. I'm like, yeah, but he understands that the more scared they are, the more rattled they are, the more likely they'll panic and do something stupid that'll make them easier to catch, so to speak.
It's also weird to me that you two are going to go to this person's house while they're babysitting somebody's kid and bone? Like, why?
I mean...
You got a van. What do you need to go to their house to bone?
I know, that's what I was kind of like... To get Lori's just like, ooh, so scary. Yeah, seriously, that's a bona fide sex van right there,
That's what I mean. It's a fucking, like...
You can throw a whole bed back there and just go to town. Go park that thing somewhere? Hell yeah.
So I'm like, why are you going to somebody's house to bone in their bed while their kid is being babysat there? Like, I don't know. That's just fucking weird.
Totally.
See, that is Lindsay. Lindsay is the little girl. What the fuck?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Huh. I never caught that.
That's what I thought. Because the other girl's name started with an L too, didn't it? Or was that hers? Yeah, that's Linda. Okay, so I don't know the other girl's name, but she did. Yeah, what the fuck? Why did they say that?
Did they say Lindsay or like Lindsay's kid, they were saying?
No, they said Lindsay.
I mean...
I don't know, man. Maybe that's why they want to go there and not stay in their creepy van. This movie just took a dark turn.
I mean, it was a far less PC time than, it is now. But like,
even as a joke.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, this movie is a little bit before my time, but even back in my day, we weren't making, like, pedophile jokes.
Jesus Christ. This is like a rich person house. The fact that they have so many phones.
Walton.
Annie, that was the other girl's name.
I'm always curious to know when, like, kids watch movies like this now, and I'm like, why
is there a jack-o'-lantern in the bedroom?
Like this whole thing of like rotary phones and things like. Because again, I remember those, but now there's an entire generation of kids. Like some of you might be watching this commentary or listening to this or watching this movie. Do you guys look at like rotary phones the way we would have looked at like?
I don't know if most kids would
the stagecoach.
Jesus.
You guys even know what a stagecoach is, or did I just even make myself sound even older?
Got some nip.
Oh yeah, nudity was a requirement in these films.
And again, I'm like, you're just gonna smoke in this stranger's house and think they're not gonna smell it?
Well, people used to smoke indoors. These kids' parents probably smoke.
I guess.
Like everyone smoked back then, basically. So it was like, and they would have done it. To be fair, bro. Like, you know, get her a beer. Like, let's get a roll number one. After that, get the lady what she wants. By the way, I'm pretty sure he's going to be just fine.
Clearly.
I have no reason to believe.
Even though I'm like, dude, why are you like not turning a light on? Turn a goddamn light on.
Turn a goddamn light on, you son of a bitch. Damn.
Tag your
And again, just to show you, like, again, this is those questions, like, what, I mean, because Michael Myers seems to kind of have, like, almost, like, superhuman strength.
Yeah, you think?
But it's one of those things where you kind of maybe wonder, is it because, again, there's literally no inhibition, there's nothing. It's like when sometimes you get such an adrenaline rush, and your body can just kind of do things normally
I like
wouldn't.
how there's no blood.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing this movie's famous for. There's almost no blood in this movie.
And I also like how that knife is somehow holding him up there. Even though it's not nearly long enough.
Listen.
It's just admiring his work.
Well, again, I think it's almost like once the kind of the fury of the kill wears off, he's almost just has a curiosity about it.
Yeah. This is honestly the weirdest part to me. I'm like, why would Michael do this part?
Well, because again, I think he's enough of a predator where he wants to kind of get close, like a predator, like to sneak up on them, but he doesn't know how to like mimic behavior. So he just mimics a visual or
but
well, it just kind of shows you like the simplicity of his range. What if you lower the camera?
Hey, you got to see one nipple.
I'm damn appreciative of it. Thank you.
So funny. Hurry up and kill her!
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of like the movie Mimic, where the bugs kind of mimic the basic silhouette of a human being in a trench coat, but they couldn't mimic you beyond that.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, they can do just enough to get close to you so you don't run away right away, but they're not going to be able to, chit-chat with you beyond that. So Michael Myers has enough, awareness to do something like, hey, I'm going to put a costume on so I can get close to her. But when she tries to engage him in conversation, she's lost.
I guess I just don't get why. Like, he doesn't even keep up the charade that long, so... Honestly, his breathing right here is the weirder one for me. He's like,
That doesn't do it for you?
Nope. Can you tell?
It's funny, too, in the new Halloween film, the 2018 one, there's two actors who play Michael Myers. There's one actor when you see him kind of from behind when he's not wearing the mask, but when he wears the mask, when he becomes quote-unquote the shape, it's the same actor who plays him in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this actor reprised him in any of the other sequels, but I know they'd say it is him. So I think it was kind of a cool little thing that,
Well, I mean, again, why not, right?
I mean, at that point, it's like, it doesn't really matter, but I think it's more or less just kind of for like horror buffs or fans of the franchise, kind of cool. Like
Well, it's kind of like, didn't they do that with Chewbacca in the new Star Wars movies?
Yeah, they had him reprise as much of the scenes.
Non-action scenes.
Yeah, because he's got a lot of joint problems now.
Yeah.
And so
it's kind of like, why not if they can?
The scenes where he's like sitting down or he's kind of leaning or standing, it was him, but it was another actor when he was running around.
Oh my God! You're letting the girl and a boy sleep in the same bed. Blasphemy! Just standing in the bushes still.
Yep.
I like how it took him that long to notice that car, by the way.
I love the. By the way, Halloween is one of my favorite scores in any film. Not just for horror. I mean, it's my favorite horror score, but it's got one of my favorite just scores. Period. I always love John Carpenter's music. And it's become such an iconic score too. That dun dun. It's like everyone knows that theme. Whether you know a lot about Halloween, hell, whether you even see
so
Halloween.
is Michael Myers' house like right near these guys, right?
It was like down the street. I mean, it's like in
But
the
not
same
far,
neighborhood. No,
obviously.
yeah, it's not far. Again, same neighborhood.
Did you lock up Lori? Ooh, off.
Bow wow. Off.
Is the door still open on the van? I can't tell.
I don't think so.
Because they just left and the door was left open, but yeah, it looks like they shut it. So I guess some nice stranger went by and shut it for them.
Hey, this is a nice neighborhood. Minus
I
the
know, right?
serial killer that's on the loose. I don't know. I love this shot.
Of the house?
Well, no, I just this scene of her. Like, I like how. Again, I like the simplicity of how this movie is, and again, I also kind of like girls from this time period too. They were a lot more natural. I feel in their appearance, less done up. I don't know, just. And Jamie Lee Curtis has a good, strong presence on screen. I don't know. I like the simplicity of this movie. I like that this movie is just very like they allow things to play out in the scene a lot. They don't try to do too much. Like
I think that should have been the pumpkin from the opening right there, but that's just me.
kind of like a little like
Yeah, it should have been
for
that
like
pumpkin.
the audience.
Well, this is that house of murder right here, so why not, right? When did she find the dead dog around the corner somewhere around here, by the way? And we learned that Michael Myers is a respectful murderer where he cleans up his murder scenes since there's no fucking blood or anything right here.
Again, I think that's more or less just.
I know.
And apparently, they didn't really notice this a lot either till that.
If there's one thing I know about murder, it ain't fucking clean. It's messy as fuck. That makes it sound like I'm a murderer. From all the movies and stuff I've seen. Yeah, why would there just be no lights on? Why do people walk around in the dark in this movie? Turn the goddamn lights on! Unless the power doesn't work. Which would be an indicator that something's wrong.
Boy. But see, that's what's supposed to set the mood, the creepiness of it. Like.
I agree, it stopped being funny. You'll be sorry. They're just having their sex party up there. I'm sure it's fine.
And I like the idea because the way we've already kind of set up Michael Myers, how he just looms and appears. Like, I like how this isn't going to be just jump scare central. It's like that he could almost just materialize out of the shadows. I think that's really cool. Again, to me, it heightens attention.
Indoor shutters. Interesting.
And also just to put in perspective how strong Michael Myers is, the fact that he broke off that tombstone.
Well, he didn't break it off. He just fucking lifted it out of the ground.
No, look at it. It's broken at the bottom.
Well, that's how it looks at the bottom. It's not broken.
What, jagged like that?
Yeah, why would they bother with the bottom? That's where the dirt goes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Still hauled that thing over.
Well, yeah. Her crying is kind of funny to me. Her face, especially, I was like, that just looks comical to me. It doesn't look scary.
Oh my god.
She looked like she got fucked too hard and went stupid. She's just stunned from sex. It's fine. Yeah, I wouldn't stop. I would run. Dude, that would suck. Yeah, time to go. Think of that Judge Judy gif where she like slaps the watch in her hand and slaps the desk. Get out of there!
Like, hurry it up. See, again.
And now somehow.
Well, he locked her in.
Yeah, you can fucking break the glass, sweetie. Like,
well, I mean, get the girl some.
No, I can't get that door down.
Wow, you are ruthless.
I am.
I feel bad for her. Like,
dude, you know how weak those hinges must be? Fucking bust that shit down.
Hey, this isn't like how it is nowadays.
Your terrorized strength.
You're what now?
You're like terrorized. It's like mom's. Yeah, there you go. It's like mom's strength, except you're terrorized. So just fucking, use that to get out.
By the way, I don't know if it was just the clothes, but like every girl in this movie looks like they're like 6 feet tall.
Oh, I know. Well, to be fair, Linda, I think, the one that looked like she got fucked stupid, she was wearing like
I know platforms,
those huge chunky sandals.
But again, I think it's the high waist bell bottom is really like.
Oh yeah.
Which, I don't know. You tell me. I don't think it's a bad look.
It is.
What, you think it is a bad look?
Oh no, I thought you said it's a good look.
No, I kind of think that look is good. I kind of like it.
Good look.
Like I don't mind that coming back. Like I'm just saying.
High-waisted pants always look good.
High-waisted, even the bell bottoms. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like call me a sucker for nostalgia, but.
Well, bell bottoms.
I don't think
it depends.
It depends, but like those kind of like.
Yeah.
Like I'm feeling her whole look right now. That's all I'm saying. I'm feeling this. But see, again, I feel for her character right here because, and that's kind of the genius of this movie is like, they knew who to make you like and they knew who to make you not like. And they did a very good job of it because now suddenly you care about Laurie Strode getting killed, whereas the other people are like, fuck, I don't care.
How did she lose her keys, though? Like, those pants are so tight. They'd be
how do I lose my keys?
Well, your pants are like soft material and everything falls out of your pockets. Her pants are like jean and they're tight, so they shouldn't just slip out.
So I have to wear tighter jeans? Gotcha.
Yes.
But see, and again, I like the fact that he's like, where is he? He didn't just like drop down from the ceiling. I think it's scary where like he's just coming at you, and you can't get away. Like imagine just being in a back alley, just against the dead end, and there's a fucking wolf walking at you. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Why was the window just open?
Well, I think he opened it. It wasn't locked.
Lock your windows, people. Lock your doors.
Hide your kids.
I like how her response is, I'm just going to sit here.
Well, I think she's trying to put... No, if you look at it, she's putting herself at the center of the room. So, in theory...
Such a good job.
Did a good job. But yeah, she's putting herself at the center of the room, so if he has to come at her, he'll kind of see her, hopefully.
See, I wouldn't be taking my sweet-ass time. I would be fucking hustling.
Yeah, but she also wants to make sure he's dead.
Okay, well...
Because at the end of the day, it's
I would go and probably stab him a couple times to make sure.
Yep, see, you say that. And it's so easy to watch a movie like this and be
run.
like, oh, I would just fucking...
At the very least, I would be hightailing it out of there.
I've seen people get punched in the face and go into, like, near shock. Someone who's never even been in a fight before, getting hit, and they just blows their mind. Like, they short circuit because it just rocks their world. So when people say, oh, yeah, I would just stab him. Yeah, it's a movie, but when you have an actual human being there, and okay, now stab him. Here's a knife. Go and stab him. It's like, you'd be surprised how not easy something like that is.
Hey, if it came between my life and not being alive,
I know, but usually it's like fight or flight kicks in. 9 times out of 10, it's always flight.
Well, that's my point. At least fucking run. Don't
but she's got
just sit there.
She's got the kids there.
Yeah, run upstairs, get those kids, and fucking get on out of there.
Jesus. Well, some of us are sympathetic to the plight of Laura Strode.
Well, I am to an extent.
Really? Could have fooled me.
You can tell this was a more understanding time because you got a creepy older guy in a trench coat wandering around all night.
I know. Nowadays, in today's world, he would be the fucking serial killer in the movie. Like, there's an old middle-aged white guy in a trench coat.
Flasher. That's what I was thinking.
Well, back in those days, middle-aged white guy, he was, the symbol of security and well-adjustment in America. Nowadays, there's a middle-aged white guy in a trench coat walking down the street. Holy shit. Yeah. Hide your kids. Again, I just love that. It's just the shadow.
Yeah, he's right behind you, dumb shit.
But see, I like that, though. I like how he didn't just pop out on the wall.
Yeah, I would have just gone out there. I went to stayed in the shitty closet.
Jesus Christ, listen to that.
Also, I'm like, you told the kids to run. Why didn't you just, run with them?
Well, she wants to lead them away. She wants to,
Oh, I know, but don't lock yourself in a closet where you're helpless. Come on, girl.
Girl.
You literally could have gone outside, and you just chose not to.
That sound.
And then you're making noise. I don't care how scared you are. Fucking clench that mouth, girl. Stick a sock in your mouth.
Damn! I love this, one of those iconic scenes in the movie, and you're just like...
All I'm saying...
Let me list off everything you're doing wrong right now.
I better turn this light on. See? He knows you're in there now, dummy. What are you gonna do?
But see, I like how resourceful she is. Right away, fight or flight. When she can't run, she fights. And I like how right away she's fashion. Again, she's very much Again, she's a lot smarter than a lot of the other girls like this in these movies. Yeah, get him, girl. Come on.
Luckily, you got him in the eye.
Well, it's not that hard of a shot.
Well, he's got a mask on.
Yeah, but a giant eye slot.
Yeah, but it's dark.
Oh, pfft. Hey, the girl's being proactive. Cut her some slack. God, you are mean.
I know.
I know.
This is why I don't normally watch, these kind of movies, because they just infuriate me.
Again, I know some people don't like this movie.
Okay, you move. You don't just sit there, you move.
It's the girl's rattled. Cut her some slack. God damn.
Ah!
Fucking savage over here.
Tell you what's not savage, Laurie Strode. Fucking get moving. And I like how she dropped the knife right next to him. Really, motherfucker? Like, come on. Come on.
Unlock the goddamn door.
There's a dead body right behind me.
This is what happens when you don't go to bed when I fucking tell you to. Stick a clothes hanger in your eye, boy. To be fair, though, she's earned every dollar of that babysitting money.
Yeah.
So how were they tonight? Oh, you know, kids, da-da-da-da-da, kill the serial killer.
Dumbass bitch, turning your back on the dead
Stop,
body.
stop. Be nice.
Just, why? Why? Don't turn your back.
Well, she does... Let's get back.
My time has come.
Pulls out a lightsaber. What the fuck? See, I love how he's slowly... Again, he moves inhumanly. Like, that's what I love. And again, I like how he just kind of materializes out of the shadows.
He's like the fucking Rock.
The what?
The Rock. How the Rock can be shot, you know, in the gut and still just...
Oh, yeah.
You know... I like Laurie Strode, but I'm just saying she kind of deserves it.
No, she doesn't.
Back,
okay,
you know?
right here, you get a good little glimpse of his face. Very...
He's got the weird eye. Kind of like he had... I guess
well, because he got stabbed in the eye, yeah, just now.
Yeah, they kept that in the new one.
Yeah, where he had the white eye.
Yeah. And see?
But see, if you looked at his face, how it was almost like... kind of very simplistic, where it was just kind of this very kind of rudimentary expression.
Yeah.
See, I feel for her so much. There's a lot of other girls
to an extent. Shouldn't have turned your back. Shouldn't have left the knife near him.
Hey, let's watch some of the other, like, Friday the 13th movies and compare those girls.
That's probably why I've never watched
Yeah,
it. I will go crazy.
You'll be screaming at them to give her the Oscar for this movie. Again, I just like how hard, kind of crushing it is, because in that moment it's like everything you thought was, you know, ridiculous and childish as an adult or, you know, an older person, you now realize is like, you just feel vulnerable again. Now, okay, so obviously the original Halloween 2 literally picked up minutes after this movie. Kind of explain where Michael Myers went. The new movie disregards that, and it's like they explain that he was recaptured. But I'm always like, how do they recapture him? Where do they recapture him? Because it's implying right now, like right here, this shot where they do it, coming up, like once again, where is he? Again, he's a predator out there, stalking. He's the boogeyman.
Wait a minute. So did he get a different knife? Because that knife was still there.
Yeah, probably got another one in the house.
So I guess the lesson, people, don't have giant butcher knives in your houses and you'll be fine.
Use plastic utensils, folks. Recycle. But yeah, no, that kind of thing is supposed to imply like he's out there somewhere. So that's the only thing about the new sequel that I don't like. As much as it's the best Halloween movie since this one, but it does kind of demystify the end of this movie a little bit by having just... Because now it's like, oh, he's out there. And then you find, yeah, they caught him like 5 minutes later. It's fine. But anyway, guys, that was the classic. That was Halloween. So love it, hate it. It's definitely a film that has spawned an entire genre of films. But anyway, thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace!
Peace!